Hi, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Endless Celts Podcast. Hope you're well, who's listening and watching. Fresh off a win in Europe, 3-2 away from home against Ferancvaros. But before we get into that win, I just want to introduce my co-host John, two show regulars, William and Francis. How are you?
Good, yeah, all good.
Very well, thanks, mate.
Yeah, and William, it's your video debut, so this should be fun. But before we go into the player performances, John, just to come to yourself to briefly talk about the game as a summary in terms of what we've seen. Now, for me anyway, away from home, Celtic were always shaky defensively, and we always struggle to see games out. But tonight, thankfully, it was a game we managed to stay out and win comfortably in the end, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a comfortable victory. I think we dominated the first half, the majority of the first half, firmly in control. Same for the second, barring obviously a couple of times where we sort of let them get back into it just through misplaced passes and things like that. But I mean, we controlled that game the night as much as we did the first time we played them at home. And I remember the last episode we were on, when we were talking about the game, I said that I think we're going to control the game firmly, and I think that it'll be much more of the same, which it was. As I said, we knew there was going to be goals on both sides, but we knew that with them opening up and attacking us, they were leaving themselves wide open for to be taken. So I thought it was a really, really good performance, and I thought a couple of guys had really stand out nights.
Yeah, 100%. Come to yourself, William, about the performance in general. For me personally, as John said, it's a game we controlled very well, and the likes of the goals, Kyogo, Jala with a cracking finish, and Abada as well with a good finish from some neat play from Kyogo. But how did you feel about the game?
Yeah, pretty similar. I thought we were in control the majority of the game, and some of the goals were just outstanding. Attacking, we look unbelievable. That third goal was just different class. It's like Brazil in the 70s. It was just unbelievable. We still look a bit shaky at the back, I must admit. But going forward, we look excellent, and we were in control of the majority of the match, and we don't do things easy, do we? So we needed to give them a go in the last minute just to make it a bit shaky.
Oh, the last 15 minutes, William, I was shite myself, to be honest, but we managed to hold on. And coming to yourself, Franley, one good thing is we're guaranteed European football, whether that be Conference League or Europa League, last 32, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like I say, it guarantees you European football going into Christmas and beyond and stuff, so you can kind of sort of get a sort of a leveler to maybe see where you're in. Obviously, I don't like the Conference League. You probably suspect if the latter stages of it, you will be better than like the Scottish League. So that can only help you improve in the league games, you would think, providing you're picking up positive results. Then obviously financially, it's going to help the help as well. But so all in all, it's been a good night. Yeah, some of the boys as well. Like I think it was I've maybe seen it a wee bit different. I thought we controlled the game in stages. Like I thought, obviously we got off to a great start, but then we conceded pretty much instantly in that. And like William touched on, I think a lot of that was down to we still look a wee bit dodgy at the back at times when we come up against better opposition. But second half, I thought for 40 minutes we controlled it. In the second half, it was one of the comfiest 40 minutes I think I've watched Celtic in Europe. And then for the last 5, it was typical Celtic, nervous as hell.
Oh, nervous as hell. But you touched upon it, William, there previously, and what you were saying in terms of the way we were playing, the way them goals happened. And can we just talk about William Kyogo? Fantastic. The first goal is wee shimmy, finished in the bottom left, and that assist for Abada was absolutely stunning, wasn't it?
Brilliant. The high press, what we've been lucky enough to watch all season. I think Abada, I thought he was really good tonight. There was a few times he took a touch too many, but I don't mind that I want him to keep trying these things. I remember seeing a start, and there was a game for Man United last year, and Bruno Fernandes tried like 70 through passes, and he only made one, but that one was the assist for the last minute winner. So I don't mind Abada trying these things, losing the ball, and I thought he was excellent tonight. I think he's been listening to the show. I know you gave him a bit of stick for not being peak Messi every week. So he decided to turn up the night for Stephen. I thought he was excellent. And then Kyogo's his faint shot, his sat one of the defenders down, and other ones went away for the number 26 bus, and he's just slotted it away. The only thing worse than that defending, actually, it was Kyogo's new hair dye job. Shocking.
I know.
It was worse than mine when I tried it. I tried to do mine when Burley joined, and it fucking went the same way. Like a mustard number. Not nice.
Well, I mean, it must have worked for him. Must be his good luck charm, William. But coming to yourself, John, just to touch upon something that the play me and William discussed. I mean, Kyogo and Felipe Yada's goal was fantastic. Cut him from the left, bang, finish it off the post. I mean, sublime, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And Jota just continues to impress me every time I see him. He seems to just be growing in confidence as well, and he's starting to gel with his new teammates and that, and it's evident that he's enjoying his football. But what a player, and what a goal! Like he says, the way he cut in, to the confidence to sort of to take on the men, and then to hit it for where he did with the confidence, and to score a goal. It was absolutely superb, and just touching on Kyogo as well. Phenomenal, absolutely. I mean, how can you not like him? You love him even. He's a breath of fresh air, and he's just such a likable guy as well. Like even you just see off the park and all that, he just seems like such a likable guy. But what a joy to watch on the park as well. His movement, his finish, his ability, with the ball, he's so good with the ball at his feet as well. I don't think we really see much yet. But when you do, he shows what he's capable of with the ball at his feet as well. And he proved that for that first goal with the wee feint and then bringing it back inside to his left and then hitting it. And then that pass to Abada was absolutely beautiful as well. And to have the vision to see it. I thought Abada had a decent performance. I mean, I still think that he's still a young guy and he's still showing the things that he needs to learn. He needs to stop taking so many touches. Some of his touches are far too heavy as well. But I mean, there's definitely a player there, and I just thought it was a really, really good game.
I mean, I get what you say about Abada. I mean, before we come on, I discussed it with yourself, and I know what you're saying, William. He did well for the goals he was involved in, and he scored when he set one up. But I do think at some parts of the game, Franny as well, that he does go missing. But that's all going to come together when he gets the performances consistently, because he was off the back of not scoring for 8 games and he's broke that duck. So hopefully that continues. But how did you feel about some of that play tonight, Franny?
Well, just to quickly touch on Abada, yeah, he was going through a bad wee spell, if you like, but he obviously he came in and he was flying straight off the bat. Then he's obviously had that wee lull. So hopefully the assist and the goal give him a wee bit of confidence, like, because I'm similar to William, like, he never really had for the ball. He always wanted it and he was willing to try and go forward. Yeah, his touches weren't great at times. He was maybe taking too many touches. A lot of that will be a down to confidence, but he never ever had for the game. And I think, like, anytime he lost the ball, I think it was like maybe one opportunity that led to a chance for Ferancvaros. He didn't score for it. So as long as where he's lost it, it's not leading to sort of conceding goal scoring chances and whatnot. You just want to kind of get it all the time and just try and have a go at the boy, because you've got to sometimes just play through these sort of performances where it's not actually working for you. But yeah, Kyogo just does it again. Nothing seems to surprise us now with Kyogo and stuff. And like his first goal, like John says, I think he is really good in the ball. I'd be surprised. I think a lot of us would be surprised if we actually seen his stats about how many times he touches the ball, because I don't think he touches it a lot. He just seems to touch it enough. He always seems to. It's 1 and 2 touch passing when he gets it, and always composed finishing and things. And then, like you say, his pass for Abada's goal was just, he knew exactly where to put it, and Abada didn't have to break strike. But for the third goal, I think Turnbull does absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, him and Jota wasted a corner, absolutely wasted a corner, and he went and tracked it way back down and won the ball back. And then obviously plays McGregor in, and we break and we score the goal. So it was good. Every goal was really good. Like Jota's one, I don't know if he's caught the interview after it and stuff. He actually said that he still had no interest in passing it to anybody. He knew what he wanted to do. So, you might have not seen it, but I've started a GoFundMe page with the links in my bio on Twitter and that. We're getting the £6.5 million together. Let's do it.
I'll sell my house.
100%.
Well, that's 100%. It sorted then, Willie. That's it sorted if you sell your house.
Does the jacuzzi bath come with it?
The jacuzzi bath is there. I was going to do this first real live from that, but I thought.
But look, you did touch upon a player there, Fanny, I wanted to talk about, and that was David Turnbull, William. And I thought, to be honest, after a shaky performance in the league against Livingston, he was absolutely superb today. He got stuck in, he tracked back, he played key passes through lines. And I thought, me personally, that probably up there with his best performance for Celtic.
I agree. I was going to touch on it at some point as well. I think you're bang on defensively and working. The workhorse side of him was second to none tonight. And I thought his delivery for set pieces was... I don't know how we didn't score for a set piece tonight because his delivery was great. Welsh had a really good chance and Ralston hit the bar. And I thought he was... And I noticed a lot as well. He was... when Kyogo was pressing high, Turnbull was a lot closer to him, playing like a number 10. I thought Kalmak did that as well quite a lot tonight. He was excellent and he was everywhere. He's got that in him and he is capable. And I know you can't bring it every week. You can't turn up every week. But yeah, I thought he was excellent tonight. The only thing he missed was a goal. His usual 30-yard ping in the top bag was missing. But I'll take the 3 points and move on to the next game. Yeah,
I mean, David Turnbull for me, apart from maybe Kyogo, was man of the match, John, for me. And as William touched upon, the only thing missing from his performance was a goal. And there was at one point he was throwing the free kicks in the corners and it was getting missed by inches. There was one where I think Carter Vickers, Abada, and someone else went for it and they ended up on the ground. But he was utterly fantastic, wasn't he?
Well, I thought he had a superb game, absolutely faultless. And again, he's shown signs of the player that we sort of seen coming through last season. Remember at the start of this year, we were like, is he still got that in it? Was it just a one-off? But I think it's pretty evident that he's definitely a quality player, and he certainly brings a lot to the team. And the night absolutely proved that. I thought he was fantastic, and like Franny said, the way he tracked back to win that ball back and feed it through to McGregor for that third goal, the work rate even at that late in the match was absolutely incredible. So. I thought it was definitely up there with a man of match performance for me as well. I could agree with that.
What about yourself, Fanny? It's an interesting debate around the midfield. Obviously, Rodgers is injured at the minute. Beaton's playing that holding midfield role. In Europe, it suits, but the league maybe not so much because it's a wee bit too negative, some people say. But how did you feel the midfield performed in general tonight?
I think it worked great again. The midfield three, like Beaton just sitting in there, it suited the sort of shape, the balance was there in Europe, like you say. It seems to work a wee bit better, and it also helps when McGregor just turns in his normal sort of 7-8 out of 10 performance, but when Turnbull turns up and, like William said, when he's doing that tracking back that I think's maybe been questioned of him, he doesn't really try and, well, not say he doesn't try, but he doesn't see track back and win the ball back enough for me anyway. But for tonight, that's the most I think I've seen him running, and like you have said, that arguably his best game for Celtic. Definite by a country mile, his best game this season. And arguably his best game for in a Celtic jersey. I thought him and Ralston, I thought were brilliant again. Like Ralston, I thought had another great game tonight. But Turnbull, the midfield three, just they worked in it, and they probably could work in the league, but at home you've probably got to have the ball more. So you've probably got to play McGregor, Rogic, and Turnbull when the three of them are fit.
I thought Beaton was outstanding tonight, by the way.
Mate, I was raising weight, didn't fail anybody. I had a free bet in my Sky Bet account, and I put a fiver on him to get booked. I thought it was a certainty. To get booked.
We talked about it at the start of the year and about how like he's never a centre half in a million years, but he can do a job in that, and he's doing it. I thought he was immense tonight. He was not only was he breaking up the attacks when he wasn't just passing it off to Kalmak. He was driving forward, so that and creating space for these guys. He was absolutely immense tonight. I hope his injury's not too long because
precaution.
Because I thought he was immense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we do have to touch upon, obviously, is the defensive side of things. We did concede 2 goals, John. One was an absolute wicked deflection that 9 times out of 10 would never happen. That would go out for a corner kick. But Welsh came in tonight. Did you see a major difference in our defensive performance, especially being under pressure from Ferancvaros, or did you think it was just Welsh coming back in being a bit rusty?
I thought Welsh was fine. I don't think Welsh had a bad game at all. Got himself into some good positions, made some great tackles. I mean, there's certainly going to be some element of rust because he's not played for a while, but I don't think there was anything that would certainly concern me or that I would have nothing really negative to say about his performance. I mean, in terms of their goals, the second one, Welsh was never near it. That's Ralston was kind of at fault for no closing down his man. He left him with too much space to take a shot. And obviously he's hit it and he's got the better heart in that situation. The first goal they scored was just, like you say, it was an absolute wicked deflection. There was nothing Hart could have done because it came off Welsh's leg. But I mean, that's, again, it's not necessarily Welsh's fault. It's just it just took a really unlucky deflection and it just happened to work in their favour. But I mean, I don't think there's any player on that park tonight in a Celtic jersey that I would actually fault or say didn't play well. I thought everybody had a really good game. Juranovic as well had a superb game.
Yeah, he did.
And I thought some of his, not just from a defensive standpoint, but coming forward with the ball and some of his touches and everything as well. He showed some great footwork as well. So, I mean, I thought it was a really good game. Obviously, it's never great conceding goals, but I mean, we knew that they were going to come at us, and we knew we've got sort of, because we press so high, we leave ourselves open at the back. And it was unfortunate that we conceded the two goals that we did, because I don't think that the result or their two goals, that 3-2 sort of favours them more than it does us, because I thought we were utterly dominant again. But
I think the two goals is like, they're both avoidable, but not in the moment that they were scored. It's 10 seconds previous. Like Abada, I don't know what he's doing.
That pass was shocking.
And even the second, I think Calmac played it into Mickey Johnson, and he's trying to beat the boy like 30 yards out for the goal. See, and I'm all for this short, direct passing, nipping it in, quick and attacking. But sometimes you just need to get fucking rid of it. And there's many occasions tonight where I was like, Jesus Christ, will you just get it up the wing? And see, when you've got the likes of and a bad up the wings as well, ping it. I think Hartson said it in commentary. Ping it up that wing, let them get onto it. Because sometimes you're just playing yourself into trouble. Both their goals were avoidable tonight, and they were both for us trying to play for the back.
Yeah, I mean, you're right to point that out, because I've seen in them two occasions where the mistakes happened, Joe Hart was quick to be out off his line.
Oh, the second goal was
yeah, giving it to them. But do you think that's an issue, Franny, especially if we're trying to make an inroad in Europe? Do you think we need to cut that out when it's not on? Playing it from the back and trying to take players on?
Yes and no. You don't want to kind of go against the manager. It's a clear instruction from the manager to try and play it out for the back. But also you need the players to be confident to play out the back. I think the Bada one, like what we say, punt that up, like I'm not saying put it on his head, but punt it up the line. Then a wee flick inside the park. Even if you've got it's a golden rule. Then I start hitting it back into the middle of the park. Then I do that. And then the Mikey Johnson one is maybe like I say, well, we're comfy in the second half. He's maybe just got a wee bit of confidence and thought, I'll try and beat the boy, and he's just like the players. He just maybe wasn't alert and maybe more lackadaisical. Then obviously I think Carter's Rickers kind of stands off the boy that wins the ball back. Then Ralston obviously stands off the boy that scores. But I think it's more like, as I say, you don't want to go against the manager, but equally I think sometimes you need to manage the situation, assess the situation, and sometimes just take a bit of responsibility and go, look, I know the manager wants to do this, but it's not happening. Just get out of the park, give us a wee bit, like give the defence a break for a couple of minutes and stuff. See if your wide players are like Giakoumakis and that can hold it up and take a wee bit of pressure for a couple of minutes. So I think it's something you need to sort of like a bit of in-game management sometimes, just to say, look, we're letting them back in here. We're getting them the ball in dangerous areas. Let's just get out of the park and ask the strikers to keep a hold of it for a couple of minutes and give them a break and stuff. But it's trying to find the balance, really, with trusting the managers, what he's wanted to do, and managing the game, the moment in the game.
I think as well, you bring up the subs. I thought they made a great difference in the team when they come on. I thought that Giakoumakis held up the ball and won some free kicks to relieve the pressure that were really vital in the last stages of the game. And also, as well, I don't know about yourself, but James McCarthy for me made a great difference. And I've berated him he's been a ghost for me. But he did come into the team tonight when he came on. He played simple balls and he broke up the play, especially towards the final stages as well. There was one point where they were on the counter and he blocked the shot, and then Celtic went up to the corner and basically saw the game out. What did you think of the subs when they come on?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought McCarthy looked decent. He was roaring at players in the last minute as well, trying to get people in position. So he's obviously he's the career he's had. He's a great talent. I'm like you. I'm still a bit sceptical about the signing, to be honest with you. If Dear Beaton's keeping him out of the team, then that's saying something. You know what I mean? I know I've just said he was excellent tonight, but I mean McCarthy, since he's came in, he's not. What's he had, like 10, 15, 20 minutes per game he's played, and he's not looked great for me. I thought he was all right tonight. It's always nice when you can change your whole front three, and you've got a front three of Forrest, Big Gio, and Mickey Johnson as well. So, and Johnson again, I think he's just trying too hard. Everything he does it seems like he's just trying too hard to please. I just want him to play his game. Forrest again, he just looks a mile off where he was not last year, but before. He needs to get back and playing and fit again. But yeah, the squad's coming back. I mean, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, our bench was like next to nothing. We had like 6 defenders on the bench. So we're getting there. There is a bit more depth, and John's bang on. It was never a 3-2 game tonight. I was actually texting a mate during it, and I was thinking at 2-1, I was like, I can see us scoring 2 or 3 more goals. The only problem is I can also see us conceding 2 or 3 more goals. So it's edge of your seat stuff. But listen, as long as you get the 3 points at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and come to yourself, Don. You mentioned it before. Rotation is key going forward, and that bench and the subs that come on gives you confidence, doesn't it?
I know, absolutely, and I think as these guys start coming back for injury, we're starting to see that. I mean, it's something we've obviously spoken about at length, and it's depth, and being certain positions, not having that depth. But obviously, when you're able to bring on a Forrest for an Abada or vice versa, that's a really strong sort of substitution to make. And it's the same when it's like you've got a fit Mikey Johnson, because we know he's got it in him. It's just a shame that he's so injury prone. But if he can stay fit and healthy, he's another good option, and adds depth on the left side as well. And then you've got these guys. Forrest can play either side. Johnson can play either side. Jota can play either side. So it's good having these guys in the team that not only play their main positions, but you can also kind of like sort of move them about and play in other areas. And again, that just adds to the level of depth that we've got. But I thought the substitutions were great tonight. I thought they were really strong substitutions as well, because I think it was something early on in the season when we had all these injuries that we didn't have. And then you saw guys' legs getting tired, and you were bringing on other guys, and you were like, this could go pear-shaped, so to speak. But I mean, I'm liking it. And like I said, we've still got the January window to come, and I'm sure we'll strengthen even further still. And then we'll be in a position where we'll see probably a lot more rotation in terms of players, how they're starting, and minutes they're getting during the game as well. But I'm really, really happy with the game tonight, and I thought it was a great game start. Everything about it was fine. Not a bad word to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite thing that we don't have bad words to say. Usually there's something we could pick out, but as we touched upon the defensive side of things.
I'm not even getting anything negative to say about the referee. But then again, that's the difference between having a professional referee in your game who's actually knows what he's doing.
But come to yourself, Randy, quickly about the kind of depth side of things. One thing I noticed, now this is going to be a me and Franny moment. Barkas was nowhere to be seen, so that just says it all, doesn't it? I mean,
just shows you how strong we are.
Aye, and the depth of the guys, I said, it is good. And January, as John mentioned, we are going to strengthen further. But going forward into these final games coming up to Christmas, you are looking at a more positive outlook in terms of squad depth, aren't we?
Well, that's it. You're looking at the bench, like William said. Like, it wasn't so long ago you were looking at the bench and going, "Who have we really got there to change up?" Like, we actually had Bain and Barkas on the bench in some league games. Well, the majority of league games, you're looking at your bench and you've got 2 keepers, and you're like, Diamond trusts you in goals, so what chance have I got you putting your outfield in that? So it's good to actually look at, and you've got guys like, I appreciate obviously James Forrest is coming back from injury, but you've got like guys like James Forrest and that McCarthy, like top internationalists and that sitting on your bench. So it's a better looking bench, Stephen, and it gives you options to change it, and then it's no surprise that you go on a wee run when you get players back for fitness and stuff. So I think that like the players coming back and the run we're on sort of kind of coincides with each other, if you like.
Yeah, and it's great to see, especially for us, as William said there, when he's back fit and firing, great option to have. But look, one thing we have to touch upon is more news coming out of Celtic Football Club that Ralston, William, has signed a new 4-year contract. I have been a constant, not critic, but I've been kind of a bit up and down with Ralston. But watching him progress this season especially, he's doing well and he's doing his job. And do you think he merited that contract, the new one?
1,000,000%. If you go back to the pods we did at the start of the season, I was his biggest critic. And I was talking about how we're going into this season with one right back and it's Tony Ralston, and this is just a disgrace and all the rest of it, banging on. When he's signing that contract, I should have been the first one at the door, bowing down to his feet, begging for forgiveness, because I think he's been, honestly, and I'm not kidding here, if the player of the season awards were tomorrow, he'd be right in with a shout for us, because he's been unbelievable for us this year. Unbelievable. Juranovic just came in and he's having to play left back. Like, how can you drop Tony Ralston? And Juranovic has been brilliant since he came in as well. But I mean, how do you drop the guy? He just puts 100% in every time he's on the park for us. And like, when you see there's a guy, we love it. KT was the biggest for it, coming through the youth, and he's just out there just giving everything he's got every game. Like, doesn't matter. Well, it does matter about your ability, but whatever you lack in ability, he makes up for it in effort and hard work, and like, that's just Celtic for me.
Yeah, he see that right hand side, he owns it, to be honest, William. He goes up and down 90 minutes, not a problem. But John, William said, how can you drop him? There's one squad he can't even get a sniff at, and that's Scotland. And people are saying,
I was actually going to comment on that. Yeah. The fact that he continues to get overlooked for that Scotland squad is ridiculous.
But Stephen O'Donnell's still in. What the fuck is that about?
Absolutely, but it actually just kind of makes me think that Steve Clarke isn't even watching Scottish football, or he's paying no attention. Because, I mean, in terms of in Scotland, he's been the best right back in Scotland, and not just in Scotland, but like, I can't see why he's not only is he picked for the Scotland squad, but why he's not starting. Because I think his performances merit it, and he certainly deserves to be part of that. But listen, in terms of him getting his new deal with Celtic, I think it's fantastic. I've been not vocal, but I've defended him, and I've said that he's been well, and he's playing well, and he's just going to continue to develop. And his heart and his work rate is second to none at the minute. And honestly, even when Taylor comes back, I'm assuming we're going to strengthen that left back position in January. I think that's a priority area. But as it stands now, like, even with Taylor in that back, I can't see anybody but Juranovic playing there for the foreseeable, the way Ralston is at the minute. He's going to need to have an absolute howler for that to change, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen, because he just continues to grow and grow and goes from strength to strength. And like he says, he might not be the most technically gifted player, but his work rate is phenomenal, and he's just always, and he's still a young guy too. Was it 22, 23 or something like that?
I think.
And another thing that really surprised me on is, see, when he needs to move, he can shift. Like, I mean, I've seen him.
He's not slow.
No, he looks slow though, because he's quite a stocky, but he's a bit of a unit. And when you see him, he does that wee jog. He runs funny as fuck, but he does that wee like, he looks dead stiff. But like I said, when he needs to, he shift that, like, he's acceleration, man. He's rapid, like, when he needs to be. But Stephen, I agree with you. He completely owns the right side of the park in most games he's playing at the minute, and you can't fault him.
See, touching the Scotland thing really frustrates the life out of me, because the man that's got the starting spot for Scotland now is Patterson, right? It pains me to say it. I think he is a player. He's a proper player like Patterson. But he's played about 5 minutes for Rangers this year. And he's the number one at right back for Scotland. And Ralston's been unbelievable. And he can't even get in the squad, never mind in the starting 11. It's just baffles me. Yeah,
it does. And I think you touched upon it there, John. In terms of numbers, he's the best right back in the league by far. I think it's 4 goals, as many assists, and the appearances and the minutes he clocks up, Franny. I mean, he's making me eat my words every week. I'm kind of criticising or coming from an angle that Juranovic should be starting. And I mean, to be honest, he's the first choice right back.
You're getting quite good at that, eating your words, Stephen. You must be through, sir.
See that? See Juranovic. I think he could play any position on the park.
He just looks so confident in the ball.
I think you can play him on either of the wings. I think you could play him on the see when he takes the ball, and there was a couple of times he drove the left back into the centre mid, and he drove in like he was a number 10, like Rogic. I think we've got a proper player here. Honestly, I think he could play anywhere.
I agree with that, and I think the night he showed some touches as well. Like he looked like a winger, because I think there was one point he was out in the left wing. He was up that side of the park anyway, and he beat like 2 men. He was just take a couple of touches and then beat a couple of men. I thought we need a look at that. A lot more of that, like you said. Well, I agree. I think he can play either side.
But Ralston, Franny, how are we feeling about it?
Well, I've kind of been like you in recent weeks where I've tried to pick faults in the guy just because it's one of the ones where I've put like William where I sort of criticise him. It's almost like I'm loath to admit that he's actually turns out he's actually a decent football player. But maybe long may that continue that we try and pick faults every week in him, Stephen, because the next game he turns in a blinder. Because how many times have we said, "Oh, he's found his level at Europe"? Like what he just done the night, and then Europe. You know what I mean? So I've said it previously. I'll any Celtic player. Obviously, we'll talk about Ralston at the time, but any Celtic player, if I critique them and try and pick faults, I hope they go make my words the next day. Because Ralston, it's always done for me. It's like I'm with you boys. I can't see how you can drop the boys. He's fully deserving of that contract. Fully deserving it, and like you touched on the Scotland thing as well. He's in the best league. He's in the best defence in the league. Like that can't be denied either. He's an integral part of what is the best defence in the Scottish League at this moment, and can't even make the squad, which is baffling. But it's just like I have said. I don't think the guy has got like. There's a level of ability that I don't think he'll ever get to. But there's me probably going back to try to find faults in him. But like a guy's brilliant, right? Like his effort is just like you can't fault his effort. It's for the full 90 minutes or the full time he's on the game. It's 100%, and it's not like erratic. It's not like 100 mile an hour running. It's not erratic. Like boys, the only like his quality crossing sometimes lets him down. But
I was just about to say that, mate. If I could pick one fault, it would be I would work on that because like 50% of his crosses end up in the keeper's hands. But
defending first and foremost, defending what you want your defender today, you can't argue with it. And then he's proven to be a danger at set pieces and attacking sense as well. So.
They hit the bar, didn't he?
That's what I mean. So as much as I see Juranovic as a right back, I don't know how he gets in there.
I think Ralston's got more goals than Dundee this year, so you can't drop him.
As I said previous as well, it's like Ralston. How can you drop Ralston when he's keeping the Croatian right back out to left back? It's one of them. But somehow me and you want Juranovic at right back, Stephen. So the way things are going, let's keep champion Juranovic at right back, so Ralston keeps turning in performances like the night.
Yeah, I mean we've done that with Barcast, Emma. So we'll do it with Juranovic now.
That didn't quite work. With Barcast. What did it? Let's be honest.
Thank fuck.
But look, William touched upon Dundee, and we'll turn our heads to league action, and we're back to Dens Park on Sunday. So coming to yourself, William, first. I mean, get into the game. We're second in the table, unbeaten in 5, I think it is now, and they're sitting 11th, just above Ross County, just barely. But how are you feeling into it?
Yeah, very confident. They're not going great. this year so far. Anyway, I think they got a win at the weekend there, and I think McPake was quite brave. I think because he's been playing like Griffiths and Jason Cummins. I think he dropped the two of them at the weekend. And another former Celt started up front in Sheridan, and they got a win. So, but no, I can't see anything other than us scoring at least 2 or 3. So I'd be very confident we'll get a win at the weekend.
And yourself, Franny, I mean, we said about Livingston game, we're all confident to look what happened, but as William rightly said, Dundee aren't going well. Do you know what I mean? So it looks like it could be an easy routine victory.
Yeah, like William said and yourself said, Dundee aren't going well, and I think they probably will sit in a bit, but I think they'll try and come out a wee bit more. They'll be the home team, so I know they're obviously at the bottom, second for bottom and that, so they will be trying to protect it and that, but it's kind of the onus sometimes is on the home team to try and come out a wee bit and attack. The fans will be kind of asking them to create chances, which will hopefully help. But as long as they play Kyogo through the middle for the start, I think we're in for a chance. Because if we play against a team like sit in like Livingston and stuff, and you play Giacomakis, you need a quality cross. You need good crosses into the box and that. So a lot will depend on us certainly, but I can't see anything but a win and a comfortable one. Whether that's a 4-5-0, 6 like the previous time, I don't think so. Maybe just I think go back to a comfy 2-0 win or something.
A comfy 2-0. I was waiting on it.
What about yourself, John? Aaron?
Listen, I think I'm confident, like much like the boys there, and I mean, unlike Franny though, I don't think they're going to come out of us at all. I don't think we're going to give them the chance. I think we're going to pin them back and practically their own box for the entire 90 minutes. I think they're going to really, really struggle to cope with us. But unlike Livingston, I don't think they've got the same sort of, they're no as well organised defensively. So I think we will capitalise on that, and I can see us scoring about 4 minimum. So maybe I'm being overconfident, but I don't like you say, they're not performing very well. They know. I don't think they're great defensively either, and even relentless pressing for us will eventually find their way through them again. Because, but it will. Listen, I would fully expect us for at least long periods to struggle to break them down initially, but I can still see us scoring a few.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be quite frustrating to watch, much like Livingston was.
Yeah. It's always going to be way playing the bottom 6 sides, but no prediction, Franny.
No, listen. I mean, watching every man in the box defending set pieces and it, like try to break that down.
How many men, John?
11. 11 men behind the ball. Get it up, you. Not about the same. I think it's going to be a bit. We will score goals, but I think they're going to be intermittent. It's not going to be like we're going to dominate possession. I think we'll score some goals, but by and large, the majority of the game is just going to see us doing the same as we did against Livingston, which isn't great to watch. Let's be honest. You want a free flowing attacking game that's kind of back and forward like the night. You want teams to open up against us and leave themselves open so that we can play that those sort of through balls and we can see guys take them on, not just like this, try to go up the wings, cross it in, get it cleared, try it again and again and again and again till it eventually pays off.
But I mean, we're not James McPitt. We can't decide what lineup he goes with and what tactics, and it's up to us, Franny, to find a way through it. What's your lineup prediction for Celtic?
Well, obviously it's got to depend on the 2 injuries tonight with Stephen Welsh and Beaton. I think really how serious they are the injuries, were they just precaution? But I'll go on the basis that they will be fit, and I think for me it's got to be the exact same team. It'll be Hart and goals, Ralston, Carter, Vickers, Welsh, and Juranovic in the midfield 3, Beaton, McGregor and Turnbull, and your front 3 of Abada, Jota and Kyogo. Providing injuries on the other 2, but it went off tonight. But I can't see if everybody's fit. I can't see anything else in that team.
And yourself, William?
Yeah, I totally agree with Franny. Depending on injuries, you might throw McCarthy in for Beaton or whatever, depending on what the injury situation is. But I think he might have learned his lesson last week, and I don't think you can drop Kyogo. You've just got to play him every game. He takes him off after there every game anyway. So once he's done his damage, so I think he'll go with the exact same team.
Aye, I'm pretty much the same too. What about yourself, John?
Yeah, by and large the same. I think we're going to start Forest though. I can see us starting Forest on the right rather than Abada. But I think the rest of the team, like you say, obviously injuries aside, assuming that everybody's going to be all right, it'll be pretty much the same lineup as it was tonight. I agree that McCarthy will probably start in place of Beaton if that's the case. Does anybody actually know the extent of Starfelt's injury yet?
It's a hamstring, so it's got to be a few weeks anyway with a hamstring regardless.
Because I wasn't sure if it was a proper injury or if it was just it was a precaution that he wasn't playing tonight. But I think it's going to be much the same.
And we've got your score predictions in terms of John's going for 4-0, Franny's going for 2. What about yourself, William?
I'll go for 4 as well. I think we'll go out in the first 15-20 minutes, do what we've done, hit the ground running, and just go 2 up in the first 20 minutes, half an hour, and then it'll just be pretty much like Hibs, and then it'll just be easy street for there. We'll just pick them off. Big Gio will come on and score in the last minute with a penalty.
Least said about that, the better, William. No, don't get me triggered again. That pissed me right off. So that fucking pissed me off big time. But myself, I'll go 3-0. And just before we end, I want to throw a wee curveball at you, and I just want to yes or no, a quick reason why. Anyway, come to yourself, Franny, first. This one, we've seen today that Victor Wanyama's come out in an interview saying that he would like to come back to Celtic. He loves the club, he loves the fans, and he wants to give it one more shot. Would you take him?
Nah. Nah. It feels like McCarthy's looking like it might. I didn't really want to write McCarthy off because he's not played many minutes, but there's a reason he's not played many minutes, and I didn't want Wanyama turning into that as well.
Yourself, William?
Nah. I think it's like McCarthy. I think it's just somebody that's past it now, and what he did for us before was brilliant. And I'm surprised, Stephen, if you say you would, because you're always the one that say never go back.
Correct. Yes, Wally. Yes.
He's past it, and he's honestly. What is he in his 30s?
31.
30. He's 30. He's 30.
He's 30 exactly. I think.
Nah.
I mean,
Stephen, you can't say you take him back.
He's got it.
I would take Wanyama back in a heartbeat. An absolute heartbeat. For the simple reason why is we need to reinforce. No. We need to reinforce the midfield, and Wanyama for that defensive midfield role for me, John, would be absolutely perfect. But that's my opinion.
Let's just get.
I just can hear a lorry back in there. It's just went in reverse. I can just hear a lorry in reverse there.
Hold on now. I'm just going to get in the WhatsApp chat and just get Joe Ledley and Tony Stokes back. Get the old band back together.
Go on, John. What do you think about the Wanyama thing?
Listen, I'm actually going to surprise you, Stephen. I agree with you, mate. Listen, I'll explain why. Right? I know, like you say, he's getting on a bit. He's 30. And he's obviously past his best. But I think as an option off the bench, in terms of adding depth to midfield, he also gives us that defensive midfielder with a bit of dig that we've been screaming for. So, I mean, I don't see there's worse that we could be signing. I mean, I'm definitely not against it. But again, that's all just shite paper talk, in it. So.
Well, not really. He said it himself.
I know he said it in an interview.
Aye, but I mean, how many players have said that they want to play for Celtic? Aye, it's making story.
Pretty sure Bertie Auld said he'd love to play again, and we've got to stick him in the fucking team.
Exactly. So I mean, I take it with a pinch of salt. I like that. I wouldn't be averse to the idea though. Personally.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. But look, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. But the quiz is back. I've brought the quiz back again. It's between Franny and William. So no pressure, William, on your video debut. Are you ready to crack on?
Look at the concentration in Franny's face.
I know.
Right. Celtic picked up their first away win tonight. But who was the last team we beat away from home?
Lazio.
Was Lazio.
Lazio. Yeah.
I was going way back to Samaras, man.
Kyogo has scored in consecutive games for Celtic in Europa League. Who was the last player to score in consecutive games for Celtic in Europe?
Hooper. Scott McDonald.
Franny. He was Baldy.
Oh, hold on a minute here.
Amido.
Well, I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more guess, William. He's played for both divides in Glasgow.
Kenny Miller.
Yeah,
I mean, Matt Amido was more a joke than that.
That's one each.
I'll give Franny that. Aye.
Thanks.
You might as well say Franny. It's Kenny Miller.
I know.
Fucking hell.
I know, man.
I'm trying to give you a chance. Relax.
It's like, William, you've had your guess, Franny. Here's a clue.
I know. Wasn't Mo Johnson? Wasn't Mo Johnson, was it?
Right. Kyogo Furuhashi joined from which club to join Celtic?
I don't know.
Come on.
Nah. They playing like
they
played a strip similar to Willie's Deco.
I didn't even want to attempt it because I end up sounding.
I know Iniesta played with them too, but
Man, I actually know the answer to it. Shocking.
Shanghai Warriors.
No, Faisal Kobe. Faisal Kobe.
Oh,
I never got that.
Right, so it's still 1-8.
Sounds like an 80s pop band.
We'll move on. Cameron Carter-Vickers started his football career with which youth team?
Oh, Catholic United.
Boom, 2-1.
What?
Yeah.
Catholic United.
Yeah.
Aye, please tell me you've heard about. Please tell me you've heard about this.
Aye, I have.
Please.
Like, who are they playing? Like Atheist Athletic.
Right. If you get this,
No mention anymore. No. I was going to say something else.
Right. No, you keep that in check there, Willie. You keep that in check. If you get this one right, Franny, you bring it home. That'll be 3-1 to yourself.
I'll just guess it, and you just give Franny the answer straight after. Right?
Who is Celtic's current number 11?
Abada.
Oh, 2 each.
Oh, sorry, Adaba.
Oh, go. Right, you ready?
Oh, I feel like I did in the last 4 minutes of the game at night.
Right.
Nerves getting it.
Jota joined Celtic from Benfica, but what is the reported buyout fee for his contract? Yep, Franny gets it. Flea Tudor, Franny.
Well done, Franny, mate.
Cheers.
Yeah, but guys, what a fantastic show.
I don't know how I guessed Kenny Miller, by the way.
I told you.
Exactly.
Deadly duo sticking together, eh?
Absolutely. That's it. Fantastic guess.
I appreciate, guys, that this has been a late one, but I want to come to yourself, William. Have you felt in video for the first time?
Oh, good. Aye. Apart from the fact that I'm in my garage that I'm doing up as my office, and it doesn't look great now. There's boxes everywhere and that, but it'll do.
I will.
Got my handsome face on there, and I'm glad that my first episode was my favourite number. Also, meal for two, 69.
Jesus.
Right, but guys, again, to my co-host John and show regular Franny and William, thanks for coming on, and to everyone who's listening and watching, stay well and keep safe. Hail, hail.